Welcome to Nona's Here.
Hi, I'm Nona. Welcome back if you've been here before. If this is your first time here, be sure and hit that subscribe button, the bell, and the word all so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. Today, I am joining Unicorn Dust Design, and I'll be sure and include her link down in the description box for Try It Tuesday. This is where we take 3 or 4 crafters, different projects, and try it on our own. So I have chosen 3 different crafters projects and tried them. This is a really fun way to try different projects, and I'm sure you'll enjoy seeing how crafters have taken other crafters' projects and done them on their own, tweak them however they wanted to. Be sure and check out the playlist, which will be on Unicorn Dust Designs video, and look and see how crafters have taken ideas from other crafters to do their own projects. So I'm really glad that you joined me today, and please be sure, if you like my video, to give me a thumbs up and make a comment. I'd like to thank Unicorn Dust Design for offering this open invite to join her and other crafters for Try It Tuesday. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you again at Nona's Here.
All right, we're ready for my first project for Try It Tuesday. And I got this idea from Brittany Nicole, whose website can be found at Officially Brittany Nicole. I'll include that again down in the description box. This project is a 2-parter. I got this glass vase at the thrift store for $1. And the first thing I'm going to do with it is to clean it off like I do all my glass pieces with alcohol and a cotton pad. And then the second piece is a wooden box that I got at the thrift store. And I paid how much? $2 for it. Okay, so I'm gonna treat both pieces the same way and see how they come out. So I'm gonna use this green chalk paint and on the box, and I'm going to use baking soda mixed with the chalk paint on both projects. And I'm going to clean off the glass vase with the alcohol. That's really a good thing to do with any glass you have, to get any oils or paper print. If it was wrapped in newspaper, you want to get everything cleaned off, and I got to get that sticker off. So I'm starting with the box, and I'm going to mix some baking soda in with the chalk paint. The chalk paint's already pretty thick, so I'm putting in some baking soda with the chalk paint to make it real chunky, because what I'm going to try and do is make this box look like it's cement. Alright, so I'm taking my popsicle stick and I'm stirring up the chalk paint with the baking soda, and you can see it's looking really thick, which is exactly what I want it to be. All right, so it's really getting thick and chunky. I've done this before a long time ago, but I haven't done it recently, and I never did it so I wanted it to look like cement. So now I'm applying that thick paint to the box, and I'm going to cover all 4 sides. And it's going to have to dry at least overnight because I want it to get really hard. All right, so I'm painting it on all 4 sides and speeding it up. And I'm really putting it on thick. All right, so there I finished painting it. And you can see it's really thick on there and very textured, which is what I was going for. really thick, really textured. And it covered everything. All right, so there it is. This is the next day. And when I got up, that green was not talking to me. So I took some acrylic paint and added some water to it. And I made a mixture. And I'll show you the paint colors in just a minute, because I just was not liking the green. So I made a mixture, kind of like a terracotta color. And I took a brush that had a real, blunt end to it, and I dry brushed it with that watery acrylic paint mixture that was kind of a terracotta color, and I dry brushed it with the terracotta color that I mixed up. And if I got it on too thick, I just took a paper towel and wiped it off. So I did that, and I was liking this much better than that all green. All right, so I did that all over, and I worked it in, and I worked it in till I liked it. Then I liked it a lot better. I didn't like all that green. So I did that, and I let that dry. And I was really working it in to the texture of the green. So I let that dry. Then I took one of those terracotta pots that you can get at Dollar Tree, and I wanted to set one of those. Okay, that's how it looks. See, it looks much better, and you really can see the texture now. I think it looks a lot more like cement. So I took one of those terracotta pots. This is like the medium size, and some white rocks and some styrofoam. And I jigsawed up some styrofoam and stuck it into the pot. There's the styrofoam. I got all this at Dollar Tree. So I jigsawed some styrofoam up and stuck it into the pot. And then I had these Sola wood flowers in the kind of the terracotta color and the dark blue. And I stuck some things in the bottom so that they would stick, because they didn't have any things on the bottom to stick them in. So I stuck those into the styrofoam and then put white rocks around them so you wouldn't see the styrofoam, and put 2 terracotta colored flowers in and 1 dark blue. The problem then was when I put them in the box, they were too low. So then I took a styrofoam block and hot glued it to the bottom to lift the little pot up so you'd be able to see the flowers. Then I took, now this is really awkward, I took hot glue and put it to the bottom of the terracotta pot and hot glued that to the styrofoam block at the bottom of the box so it wouldn't wiggle around. Okay. So there, now it sits up high enough that the flowers are on top of the box. And that's how it ended up. I really liked it. It really looked textured like cement. And I liked the color of flowers. I liked the white rocks. I liked everything. Okay, these are the acrylic colors that I used to make the terracotta color. So now I'm ready to do the glass vase. So I took these colors and I mixed them together, and these are acrylic paints. And I mixed these together with some yellow because I was still going for the terracotta color. So I mixed them all together and I was trying them out on the vase till I got the color that I wanted. And so there's kind of the color that I wanted. And I added the baking soda, and I had to add more baking soda to the acrylic paints because they weren't near as thick as the chalk paint. So I mixed it all together, and then now you can see it's really thick. And so I painted the glass vase with the baking soda acrylic mix. And I just glumped that on to the vase. And for this, I was going more for like a pottery look. So I just kept painting it on. And this was kind of more difficult because there were places that the baking soda acrylic paint mix just wouldn't hold. So I got up the next day and wasn't crazy about it. So I made some more terracotta paint mix and painted over the vase to cover up the spots where the paint had sort of slipped off. And once I painted it, I liked it a lot better, and that's how it came out. So that's the end of Brittany Nicole's project. Well, actually, my project that I got from Brittany Nicole. Okay, on to the next one. This one I got from Crafts by Caitlin at Crafts by Caitlin, which I will include her link down below. All right, so I have this little amber candy dish candle holder from Dollar Tree, and of course I'm going to wipe it down with the alcohol and a cotton pad, and I'm going to use I'm going to paint it with plaster because one of the fabrics that I'm going to use has a white background and I don't want the amber to show through, and Mod Podge. And I'm going to use two fabric pieces that I got at Dollar Tree, coordinating. And the one is a plaid and it sort of has a white background and I didn't want the amber to show through. So I painted the dish, the glass dish, with plaster. And I did have to give it 2 coats because I had cut a practice strip to make sure they would fit. It would fit, and I sort of messed up the paint. Okay, so then I cut strips about 3/4 of an inch wide and long enough to go from the top of the glass dish to the bottom. And then I took Mod Podge. Now she dipped hers. I just painted mine on the wrong side of the fabric because the fabric had a right side and a wrong side. And I took my Mod Podge, and it doesn't matter what kind of Mod Podge, whether you use luster or matte. And I painted the wrong side of the fabric, covered it with Mod Podge, and then I put the strip on the bowl, the little glass bowl, and made sure I tucked it in at the top and then made sure it went down the side of the bowl, and the bottom of the bowl had a little indentation, and then down to the very bottom of the bowl, and made sure it went all the way to the bottom and that there were no like air bubbles. Then I took more Mod Podge and attached it to the bowl, making sure it was attached along the edges and at the top. Made sure it was all tucked in nice and neat at the top and that it would stay down. And then I alternated my fabrics, my coordinating fabrics, to the stripes. So one would be plaid and one would be the blue that had a little bit of a pattern in it, like clouds. Now she used, Caitlin used a real pretty floral fabric. And the next time I do it, I'm going to try and get a floral pattern fabric because that came out real pretty. But this is what I had. So I continued going around the little glass bowl, alternating my fabric, the 2 different patterns, making sure that the top was tucked in and glued down and that the bottom was down along the bottom of the bowl, and making sure the edges were well glued down to overlapping each strip. Very simple. Anyone could do this. Of course, when I got to the end, there was a big space left. Sometimes my strips were a little long, so I just trimmed them off at the bottom. So there I have this wide strip. So what am I going to do? Well, I decided to take the plain blue. it kind of had a little bit of a pattern on it, like a cloud. So I decided I cut a bigger strip and just put that on to cover the wider strip that was left. So I left that dry overnight, and it dried really, really well and really hard. So then I made sure all the strips were down nice and tight along the top and around the bottom. And then I took my acrylic sealer and I sprayed it just to make sure that it was nice and protected. And I took styrofoam and jigsawed styrofoam into the little glass bowl, because of course I want to add some flowers. So I had some Solo wood flowers in white and blue. So I took those Solo wood flowers and put little picks on the ends, because they're like flat on the bottom. So I put some little picks on the bottom so I could stick them in. And I used the blue, and I had some pretty little white ones. So I put one blue one in and then two white ones in. Yeah, that sealer gets on your hands and it's sticky. So there's the blue one. And then I put in two white ones. And that finished my project. And I think it came out real cute. And the next time I'm going to get a taller glass bowl and some floral fabric. But I really liked how it came out. And even Grumpy Grandpa came in my craft room and liked it. So I am considering this one a roaring success. Okay, the next one is one that I've seen done, but I cannot find who I saw do it. And I know I've seen several people do it. So I got in my button box and I got out my buttons. And unfortunately, I don't have a lot of exciting buttons, but I do have some fabric-covered buttons and some large buttons and some little buttons. And so I got out my buttons, and I have, unfortunately, some of them have shanks on them, you know, the things on the back. And so I took those, snapped those off, and then I took my sanding block and I sanded those down the best I could, because I want to make magnets. And so in order to make those as flat as I could, I sanded off the shanks, okay? So I also used some pearls that I had, and because you can decorate these any way you want to. I want to make refrigerator magnets. Okay, so I have some little pearls on those self-adhesive strips. So I got the magnets out, I got the buttons out, and some of them were flat buttons. Those were easy to do. And fabric covered buttons. I just had got all the buttons that I had. And then I had these large magnets that of course I got at Dollar Tree. And here's a tip. Do it on a cookie sheet, because the magnets stick really well to the cookie sheets, and it's easy to manipulate your smaller buttons with the magnet sticking to the cookie sheet. Okay, so there's the first one. I put the large button on the large magnet. And so then I played around with the buttons, and I had 3 different sizes of magnets. I had the smaller magnet, the medium-sized magnets, and then the real large magnets. And there you see. Okay, all from Dollar Tree, of course. So I played around with the buttons, and I put them together, and I used that Fix-All adhesive, that real strong adhesive, and I just had fun building little button mountains. And then I took whatever the bottom button was, I put it on the right size magnet. Okay, see, aren't they cute? Some of them were small, some of them were big, and some of them I built out up higher than others. See, this one's not quite done yet. I'm going to put some more little buttons on top. which if I lift my hand, you'll be able to see that one's not done yet. Okay? So it was just, one of those no-brainers that you get to do when it's late at night. And there's one of the magnets, and I'm just going to put it on like that. See, and it makes a nice sized refrigerator magnet. Okay, so I put those all together, glued them all together, and by the way, I've put them on my refrigerator and I've left them there for a couple days, and they have stayed really well. They've stuck together with the door being open and closed, and nothing has fallen off, which is good. I think that Fix-All adhesive glue is really good stuff. It's like a super glue, and it's really good stuff. So now I'm gluing it to the magnets. Okay. Just pressing them down. All right, so there's a picture of all, I just put them all together to take a picture on the fridge. And here's a little video of the magnets. And that's it. Hey, thanks so much for joining me today, and a special thanks to Unicorn Dust Design for allowing me to join her. Don't forget to check out the playlist of all the other crafters who have joined in today, and I hope to see you again very soon at Nona's Here. Bye!